What's up, guys? Today is Friday, August 21st. By the time you see this, it'll probably be Sunday or Saturday, whenever I upload this video. But anyway, let's talk about the gaming news that happened this week. First off, Apple moves to block Fortnite's temporary return over Epic's self-inflicted wounds. That's an article by GameSpot. And pretty much just going over... my camera... Sorry. Pretty much just going over the whole thing with Fortnite and everything, how they kind of like said, hey, Apple is making us charge you this much, but what if we just take that away, and here, just instead of being $10, it's $8. And Apple was like, no, I need my 30%. So the temporary restraining order, if granted, would allow Fortnite to return to the App Store against Apple's wishes, along with its controversial direct payment system, which is the whole reason why this whole mess started. And then they go from Epic executed a careful, orchestrated, multifaceted campaign, complete with a parody video. Which, if you haven't seen it, it's kind of dope. I'm not gonna say that it's not. I feel like it was premeditated because it was weird. They just randomly showed up, and then they have a lot of like tweets going on back and forth. All of the inquiry Epic claims to itself, game players and developers could have been avoided if Epic filed its lawsuit without breaching its agreements. And then whether Epic will go back down remains to be seen. In the meantime, Epic is still preparing for their Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 4, but obviously it's not going to be on iOS. If you do have an Android or a Pixel phone or whatever, you'll still be able to play Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 4. You just have to download directly, and this is probably going to take a long time before it gets resolved because it's two big companies, although Apple is a much bigger company. But I hope that for the gamers' sake, they're doing it out of like to make sure that Apple is not taking money from people, because they do charge a lot for developers, and they kind of force. If you want to make apps or anything, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jill can explain this better, but it's always better to have an app on iPhone or an iOS, because I think it's easier and simpler to do it on iOS. If I'm right or wrong, Jill? Yeah. So, but I feel like with that, they also charge a lot just to have it in there. So if this somehow ends up where, Epic is somehow doing this because they also care about other people, that'll be awesome, because then it'll stop from Apple to charge so much just to, have an app. But anyway, on something that I'm actually excited about, Hitman. Speaking of Epic, Hitman, the 2016 version, will be coming to Epic Game Stores on the 27th. Yes, wait, let me make sure I got it right. Yes, on the 27th to September 3rd, and you'll be able to get it for free on the Epic Game Store. And that's good for me, because I actually like the game, but I never finished it because I didn't feel like paying that much money for the game. But it's also been revealed that it's going to be Hitman 3 will be an Epic exclusive, and they showed that it's going to be the first event, or the sandbox. The first sandbox is going to be in England. So if you like that stuff, it's going to be in England, and it's going to be awesome, I guess. And for the first time in a while, or ever, they're going to be self-published by IO. So they're going full by themselves. Hopefully that goes well for them. Obviously, they're probably backed by Epic, so they're probably going to have the money to provide all that resources they need, especially with the times that are now, that it's like working from home. Let's hope it actually turns out to be something that's good and not just a cheap, way to make money off of people, because it's a Hitman series. So fingers crossed. And then PS5 has more game reveals coming as Sony teases the best lineup ever. Jill, let her have it. Or him. Or it. Whatever.
What the fuck are you saying?
I have no idea.
So Sony has they mentioned that they have more game reveals coming. Closer. I mean, the PS5. Hopefully the PS5 release date is coming this fall, based on what they're suggesting, right? Hopefully COVID doesn't push it back even further. But they did mention that they have more game reveals coming. I think the last game reveal was maybe last month, I believe, right, Carlos?
Mm-hmm.
It's been maybe a month.
Roughly, yeah. Exactly how much? Because I've lost track of time and what time is. So
they did reveal some games in the showcase. I think for the most part, most of them feel lackluster.
for
There
indie?
isn't really like an exciting IP, either a new one or an old one that makes gamers want to buy a PS5. But they did mention that they have more games coming, more game reveals coming. They're hinting that the launch lineup um, time frame is gonna show the best lineup that they've ever seen in the history of PlayStation, which seems kind of like a hard statement to say, to be honest, just because we haven't seen much that really pushes the PS5 to its graphics or it doesn't really. I feel like it doesn't really showcase its main features that well. Um, but then moving on to the next topic is that PlayStation 5 did release their new commercial for the PlayStation 5. Basically, the commercial focuses on the main points that the PlayStation 5 is basically marketing to gamers, which is most likely the 360 sounds, the surround sound, the 360 um, version of it versus the 2D sound. But 360 sounds tends to be a feature now. Um, a bit confused on how that's gonna work.
Wait, so okay, sorry, go on.
So in the commercial, basically they're really pushing for the new features that the PlayStation 5 is going to be about. Most of them are just haptic feedback
Oh,
features
okay.
such as 360 sound. Um, the vibration within the controllers is going to have a bigger range of sensation, such as I think based on one of the demos that they showed, the character was walking on sand, and you could feel, um, based on the vibrations, you could feel what the character was stepping on. So you can kind of feel like the sand particles underneath the controller.
Hmm.
That sounds a bit interesting. And
So
then
you're telling me
the
that
commercial.
obviously this is not the right controller. It's an Xbox controller, but you're telling me that the new controller. I'm playing the game, and let's say I um like that the sand, right? I'm gonna hear it through the controller, or it's supposed to be through my sound system.
Well, the feeling, the haptic feeling
It's gonna
of
be on the
the
controller.
sand is gonna be through the controller, like the
Okay.
vibration underneath the controller.
So like if I'm using this to walk, right, I'm gonna feel it here, right? That's what
Uh,
they're
I think
or
it's the
they haven't said.
It could be there, but I think it's the vibrations underneath the controller.
No, okay.
So you see how on the sides of the controller you have the rumbles,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this is
They're
gonna be
like right
like the
here, yeah.
next gen version of the vibrations, yeah.
Okay.
And then in the commercial they were also showing like if you have a bow and arrow and you're pulling the bow back, you can feel the restriction from the bow. Um, I read somewhere that they also have something where if your gun no longer
Yeah.
has ammo, the gun gets locked, right? Because
Mhm.
there's no more ammo
Yeah.
to push. So somehow there's a mechanic in the controller that locks the locks R2 trigger, so you can't push on it anymore because there's no more ammo to push on.
Okay.
So
So
that's a really cool feature.
before you continue, how much do you think this is actually gonna be a part of games? Because the only game that I played on the PS4 that actually uses the controller and everything. Obviously, this is not the right controller. The controls over there, but was Ghost of Tsushima. Because when you want to say, for example, pretend this is the PS4 controller. If I want to do something, I can swipe it or whatever, and like I want to play the flute, I go swipe up. If I want to, unsheath my sword, I swipe to the right. So it's like, what do you think? Like, how many games do you think are going to have this this add-on, or you think it's just going to be a gimmick?
I think based on how the PlayStation 4 games were, I think most of the features that the PS4 controller had were used by first party games, so games made by Sony. I think the it's kind of hard to tell now, but it's going to be interesting to see um how many third party companies actually take the extra time and development costs to even take advantage of these features, because you have to pay someone now to program the controller so the game outputs a different reaction to the controller based on what the character is doing in the game,
It's
So
probably going
that
to be
sounds
heavier
like
too. Sorry,
what happened?
it's probably going to be heavier too. Because if it's going
Yeah.
to have sensors, it's like this is kind of this is heavier than the PS4 controller. but it could just be because that's because the battery's inside this thing. But
I think.
I feel like it's gonna have to be heavy because if it's having sensors here, right, then it's gonna be like you just can't you can't have all the weight being disproportionate. You know, you can't have all the weight here in the bottom because then it's gonna feel uncomfortable. You know, you want to have something that you can hold on and it doesn't feel too heavy, but it doesn't feel too light. Because sometimes when I use my PS4 controller, it feels like it's too light. When I use this, I've as much as I love PS4, I the moment I got this and I started using it for XCloud, it just feels more comfortable in my hand because it feels like everything is distributed properly. Besides, obviously the L2 and yeah the triggers because it just feels I'm so used to the PS4 being so small, so that it just kind of feels like oh it's weird. So
But yeah, I think it's interesting to see how the 360 sound feature is gonna work.
that's
Because I know
cool.
they do have 3D
Mm-hmm.
they do have 3D audio, a
Dolby
3D
Atmos.
headset that's
Yeah.
launching with the system.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think the controller also has a speaker, and I'm not sure, but I think I read somewhere that maybe the speaker within the controller might have 3D audio, which would be kind of interesting to see, you know? Because imagine you're playing a game and then there's sound coming from your controller,
Look out!
and
You're
then
just like
that sound somehow tricks you into like hearing a noise from a specific
like
section.
I keep interrupting you, but have you played Hellblade? Soul Sacrifice?
Soul Sacrifice? No,
Yeah,
Sinao
Hellblade.
Sacrifice or
Yeah,
something like
that
that.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah. So I have it on the Switch. I haven't finished it because I've been practicing other games. But when I put on headphones, it's just they tell you put on headphones, and it's for a reason because you're playing the game, and in the background you hear don't do this. Why are you doing this? Stop. And it's just like it's like creepy, but it's like almost like more immersive. I feel like if they manage if a company can do that, I feel like if Sony actually is saying what they're actually saying, I think it's gonna be really cool for like especially if you get like a VR headset and you have that where you feel like because when you have the VR you feel like you're surrounded by the game because you
Mhm.
see the game, but imagine also hearing it and feel like you're in the game and it's just like I don't know. Let's just hope that it's actually true,
I think
not
this is the
just
same technology
promotion.
they use for the VR headset.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the VR, you could connect any headset through the aux port or
Mm-hmm.
through, like, I think, I'm not sure if headset works with VR,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a feeling it might be the same technology that they were using for VR,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow they tweaked it a bit, but now they're using it for PS5. I'm just interested to see if the 3D audio is gonna work for it. Like, how is it gonna work for people who are not using headsets? You know? But yeah, and then but yeah, that commercial basically just goes over specific features. It's like a quick 30-second commercial. Um, it's not too exciting, but I guess it gets the job done. Um,
Just to add on
but
that,
again, I think it's like you
oh
can't
yeah.
really. This is kind of like VR. You can't really like it's kind of hard
Mm-hmm.
to advertise a feature that people need to they themselves like actually see and feel for them to understand what you're referring to. You know, because people might see that commercial and just assume it's the same vibration that they experienced on
Mm-hmm.
PS4. Um, it's kind of hard. You just need
Or
to
like
have
it's a
like
gimmick.
actual like presentation
Mm-hmm.
to like you actually have to show people what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be hard, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So I'm doing a project for school, and I've chose to talk about the PS5 and everything, and I had to talk about like something that could happen because of natural events, and obviously or unfortunately, the world, is all over the place right now. So, um, their production is they're hoping that the production is going to stay. Obviously, they're going to lose money because they're not going to make as much units as like the PS4 when it was first launched for the first physical year, but they're more worried about their promotions. And like you said, like it's kind of hard to watch the video and be like, oh, that's going to be awesome. But then they were planning on having like events where they actually show the controller and they have like those where people are able to see the actual console and and actually experience it. So I think it's gonna be hard for them to like convince the people that are just like casual players and be like, oh, what's the point? I would just get the Xbox because it looks cooler, or I'll get the Xbox because X, Y, and Z, or I have a PS4. Why do I need the new one? So I think depending on how they do it, it's gonna weigh on who gets what. or if people get nothing at all because of the money and all those factors.
Of Tsushima.
Number 5, Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima. Shuma. I'm not trying to be rude.
What's he saying now?
Ghost of Tsushima. Ever since you corrected me, I can't say it right anymore. Anyway, they're adding a new co-op mode called Legends this fall. I'm so excited. Gio doesn't care because he's probably never going to play this game, but I'm so excited. I didn't think this was going to happen. Anyway, Legends, which follows 4 warriors of legendary renown, will be available for free this year. Its location and enemies are inspired by Japanese mythology, so players will be able to use matchmaking or play with friends. So you can play with a friend and just do like side missions or side quests that aren't related to the story, or you can do. I think you can also do a 4-man squad where you just do horde modes. I don't know if the 4-man people will be also do side missions or just that particular mode, but I know that if you play with somebody else, you'll be able to do a side quests for that particular mode, and you'll also be able to like have like specific like outfits, have specific roles like the archer, the Ronin, all that stuff. So I still haven't finished the game. So I finished the story, but I haven't finished like all the extra side quests and everything. I want to make sure I plan the game because I actually want to plan the game. Although every time I go on Twitter, there's somebody else that's like done it. And I don't know if you know this. I'm pretty sure you know this, Gio. But for the first 200 people, they had the company had like a low key like giveaway that for the first 200 that platinum the game, they got a sheath of a sword, of a katana. Or not katana, something else, but they had a sheath from it, and it's pretty cool. And I wish I planned the game so I could get that, but that's pretty cool. I mean, I had hope that this game was going to be good because of Sucker Punch, and I've always liked their Infamous games, not really so much the latest one. I did like the other one, the First Light, more than I did the actual what's it called? Second Son, right?
Yeah.
Infamous Second Son. So I like Infamous Second Son, but then it just felt compared to the other ones. But in First Light, it was fun because it was refreshing. It was more compelling, at least for me, and it was shorter. But this is like, I think this, at least to me, my opinion, is one of my favorite games that I played of all time. It's like my second favorite game that I've played, and I think I don't know, it's because I really like this culture and like the samurais and Ronins and all that stuff. But it's just for me, it was a really good experience, and to have this be an update for it for free also as well. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's good and not like something like it's okay, because like with Red Dead 2, great story, multiplayer. Let's not talk about that. So I just hope that's going to be good. And like I said, it's coming this fall. When exactly, I couldn't tell you, but expect me to play. And hopefully I have a friend to play with me. Hopefully that's Gio. If not, then I'll play with another friend. But anyway, what's the next story, Gio? The next stories.
The next one is going to be for Fall Guys. So Fall Guys, we know it's a kind of like a Wipeout style game, like Last Man Standing. So far, it's been quite a success. I think this game came out maybe 2 weeks ago, right, Carlos? Does this sound right?
Yeah. When PS Plus came out.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago it came out. So far on PS4, it's had, I believe in a month or since it came out, it's had, as a PS Plus game on PS4, it's had 15,600,000 players, which is actually quite a high number. And it seems like a lot of brands are looking to.
Is that on in total or just PS4?
This is in total.
Okay.
I think it came out 2 months ago. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. So I think in total so far it's had 15,600,000 individual PS4 players.
Oh, okay.
But then it also came out on PC, so I'm sure that number's higher.
For PC. Okay.
And then companies and brands, they wanna partner with Fall Guys to have their own custom skins in there, like Walmart, KFC,
Arby's. Wait, was it Arby's?
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
McDonald's.
Yeah, there was quite a few skins, and I think right now they have their Twitter account has this thing where if you decide to donate, whoever decides to donate the highest amount is gonna be able to pick their own skin in the game. and the developer is gonna make it and everything, and actually have it in the game. So I think it's a smart move, especially because Fall Guys seems like it's really popular, and if they keep pumping out content, people are gonna keep playing it.
But how long do you
Um,
think it's gonna last though?
I think it's gonna last as long as they
More than
keep pushing out
Fortnite,
content
or as
in the
much as
season.
Fortnite?
Weapon.
Do you think it's gonna be like Fortnite?
I think it could be like Fortnite. I think they just need to make sure that the brand stays relevant. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, you have to be. Who knows? Well, we just have to wait and see because right now it's just season one, so I know season two is eventually gonna come. So I'm sure there's new games, new skins. They just have to keep making people come back and play. And then hopefully they can eventually bring it to like Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Switch, mobile phones. You know. Um, yeah, I think they just need to. I'm sure if they bring it to mobile, it's gonna be a huge game. But yeah, interesting to see what happens with Fall Guys. And then the next story is Samurai Jack releases today. Most of the reviews have been good. I mean, so far good. I think I've seen mostly 7, 8s, maybe a 9. It's based on the Samurai Jack TV show that was in Cartoon Network a few years back.
A long time
Um,
ago.
most of the gameplay, it looks good. I think some people were comparing it to like a next gen remake of a PS2 game.
What?
Um,
How does it play? Like, is it like a adventure game? Is it RTS?
it reminds
Or
me
not
of like
RTS? Sorry.
it kind of reminds me of the games from like Platinum Games. Like it feels kind of like that, but it's not that like fast paced. It's kind of like you block, you
So like
roll.
like Bayonetta or Astral
Yeah, but
Chain?
I feel like those games are faster. This is kind of slower, but you can dodge, roll. I think you have powers.
Is it open
The
world?
anime. No, I think it's just like it might be linear,
Oh, okay.
but it has a story. The graphics are actually pretty good. They kind of look like the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it on the
Yeah.
Switch?
It might be. I'm not too sure. I think
Okay.
it's coming out for. I know it's out on PS4, but I'm sure it's coming out for other. Let me look up. Let me see what games are out for.
I think it's out for the Switch because I saw it on the Switch, but I don't remember if it was.
Oh, yeah, it's also canon, so canon to the TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming out for Apple Arcade, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch,
Apple
Xbox, and
Arcade.
PC. Yeah, so that's on the phone.
Ooh, I know I know what that is.
But yeah, the gameplay looks really good, especially coming from Ghost of Tsushima. I
But
think
I'm worried though because if it's an Apple Arcade, then microtransactions.
no. I think you have to wait. Apple Arcade, does that mean that you is Apple Arcade the one where you pay monthly?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean
Either
the graphics look
iPhone
really
or.
good.
I mean, if
So
it's able to play on the Switch, I guess.
yeah, but the graphics look really good. The gameplay looks really good. Animation is good. I think it's only like a $40 game.
Okay, so not that bad. You know
Mm.
how long it is?
I think it's based on the review I saw. I think it's like 10 hours. It's only $40.
Okay.
I'm kind of interested to buy it just because it looks kind of fun.
All right, and the last topic of the day. I like how this camera just dun dun dun. All right.
Wait, what happened?
And the last topic of the day.
Is
I don't know, Joe. What is it? Tell me.
oh, you're funny. Well, no, there was no last topic of the game.
Yes.
The day.
Oh, that was it.
Well, the last point I guess is it's under Samurai Jack. I guess more people are gonna want samurai games. Um, since Ghost of Tsushima has become really
Tsushima.
popular,
Tsushima.
and
Tsushima.
Tsushima, yeah, Tsushima.
Tsushima.
So maybe we'll get a Ninja Assassin's Creed full of microtransactions from Ubisoft, but we'll see.
And it's really bad and it's not fun. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like other companies can make an Assassin's Creed or yeah, a Samurai Assassin's Creed game that is gonna be better than the actual Assassin's Creed Samurai game. To be honest.
I
Because
think
Assassin's Creed isn't Assassin's Creed anymore.
they need to move away from Assassin's Creed because I think it's oversaturated at this point. Like they make good games, but just because they have the Assassin's Creed name, people just stop buying them. You know, I mean, there's still people buying them, but I have a feeling it's not the original people that like
That is funny.
the
And then
like
the
a few
CEO,
games.
or no, the person working on the on Valhalla got uh got fired from his position because he was trying to use his power to gain affection from women. So
Oh,
there's
from
that.
Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, from yourself. So
I
hey,
saw that, but that's weird.
hey man, life's crazy. But anyway, guys, that's all the news that we have for today. Um, like I said, this will either be posted. You'll be either watching this tomorrow or Sunday by the latest. We're trying to figure things out. We're trying to just see how things work out. I have no idea why my camera is doing this. So if it bothers you, let me know. It doesn't bother me so much because I can do this, and then like it zooms into my face. So and then I don't think he's ever gonna have his webcam on. So just get used to that blank bar. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next week. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Or,
Have a good
or
weekend.
whatever it is.